Hey, all you Golden Eagles, you're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. We've got a great show coming up with some information about Clyde Brown discussing his role in establishing the Grand Bay Reserve in Jackson County, and Abigail Troth talking about Jimmy Buffett's passing. Don't touch that dial because a special guest will share some things that you don't want to miss. You're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. In USM Campus News, USM Partners for the Arts to host Pops in the Park. Partners for the Arts presents Pops in the Park, a showcase of popular music performed by the University of Southern Mississippi Symphonic Winds with special guests Spirit of Southern and USM Jazz Tet. Pops in the Park brings a brand new concert-going experience on Tuesday, September 26th at 5 p.m. at Southern Station in Spirit Park on the Hattiesburg campus. Pops in the Park will showcase the incredible talents of the USM Symphonic Winds, conducted by Dr. Colin McKenzie, as they perform popular music from jazz to pop, rock to big band, film scores to the Great American Songbook to Broadway hits. USM Research Network announces $21 million NIH grant renewal. The renewal of a 5-year National Institute for Health research grant totaling more than $21 million for the Mississippi IDEA Network for Biomedical Research Excellence, headquartered at the University of Southern Mississippi, was announced September 6th on the Hattiesburg campus by faculty and administration closely associated with its work. Although the renewal period just launched September 1st, the network has already established 2 new research labs at the University of Mississippi and Mississippi State University, as well as a state-of-the-art data science center. In Hattiesburg news, police officer accused of shooting 11-year-old, now accused of tasing and choking a man who was detained in handcuffs. The Indianola police officer accused of shooting an unarmed 11-year-old boy is now at the center of another federal lawsuit. This latest lawsuit accuses Officer Greg Capers of tasing and choking Kelvin Franklin of Sunflower County while he's in handcuffs. Moore said that this all started when Franklin, who's a staff sergeant in the U.S. Army, went to his then-fiance's house in Indianola last December. Franklin left his bag in a car, but when he went to go get it, that's when the commotion started. Moore said Capers responded to the scene. 5 unnamed officers, along with the city and police chief Ronald Sampson, are also being sued. In lighter Mississippi news, Jackson's public works director quits again. Khalid Woods, the man appointed to lead Jackson's public works department, resigned on Monday, a week after coming back on the job. In a statement, Woods said he appreciated the opportunity to serve, but cited the toll the position had taken on his mental health. He goes on to say, "Upon my return, I found that my productivity was not where I would like it to be. I've not seen the progress that I wanted to see. Due to the stress of the position and the toll that is taking on my mental health, I feel as though it is best that I step away from the position permanently." Monday marks the second time Woods resigned from this position. In August, he stepped down after less than 2 weeks on the job, but agreed to return after he and the mayor spoke. In national news, Hurricane Lee is on the rise. Hurricane Lee, now churning in the Atlantic, is forecast to quickly intensify to an extremely dangerous major hurricane. Lee, which strengthened from a tropical storm to a hurricane on Wednesday, was likely become a major hurricane by Friday and a Category 4 hurricane with winds up to 150 miles per hour by Saturday. Lee is currently expected to move north of the Caribbean islands over the weekend. sparing the islands any direct impacts other than rough surf and rip currents. We'll be right back with sports and weather after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Imagine being denied an apartment because of housing discrimination.
It's so wrong.
But who has the power to stop this?
You do. The law is on your side. If you've been discriminated against because of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, or familial status, file a complaint with HUD. Fair housing is your right.
Use it.
Visit HUD.gov/fairhousing. A public service message from HUD and the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now on to your sports. Soccer set for afternoon match up against number 12 Alabama today. The Southern Miss soccer team is set to face number 12 Alabama today at 4 p.m. at the Southern Miss Soccer Complex. The Crimson Tide holds a 6-1-0 advantage in their all-time series, which dates back to 1997. The Golden Eagles' sole victory came in 1999 during the last Hattiesburg encounter, when they secured a thrilling 4-3 overtime win. Let's go, Eagles! Stein recognized as Star of the Week. Redshirt junior Golden Eagle place kicker Andrew Stein earned a spot on the Grozo Award Stars of the Week team on the heels of his perfect 4-for-4 return to placing kicking duties. The performance also earned Stein Sunbelt Conference Special Teams Player of the Week honors earlier this week. Stein, a native of Slidell, Louisiana, became the first Southern Miss kicker to drill 4 field goals in a game since 2017, converting kicks from 23, 25, 41, and a career-long 52 yards out against Alcorn State. Perhaps Stein's most impressive stat of the week is his triumphant return after 4 years out of the field goal unit. Prior to Saturday, Stein's last make came in 2019 from just 23 yards out. His 16 points scored were also a career best for the redshirt junior. To keep up with all the Golden Eagles sports activities, head on over to southernmiss.com. Now on to your weather. Get ready for a taste of August later today as 100-degree highs returns to the area today. Thankfully, they won't be sticking around as long as they did in August, basically the whole month, since we'll only be having them today. Expect a high of 100 by 4 p.m., though it is possible a front swinging through could develop enough cloud cover or showers to cool things a degree or two. Make no mistake, even if we don't hit 100 exactly, the heat index will linger in the 110-degree range, activating heat advisories in the area again for the first time in a week or more. That means heat safety will be important today, so be sure to stay as cool as possible and take plenty of shady breaks if you have to be outside. Up next, we have Clyde Brown discussing his role in establishing the Grand Bay Reserve in Jackson County. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. The Grand Bay National Estuarine Research Reserve, or NEAR, began as one man's desire to protect our coastline. Clyde Brown explains his wife's pecan pies sealed the deal.
So I started in 1979 to really try to get some way of getting the government involved and the state to preserve that marsh area down there, and went through the process for befriending people from the governor on down and the United States Senator to get that Grand Bay NEAR down here in Jackson County. And one cold, windy day, Dave Ruppel, he's our NEAR manager now, he was with the DMR at that time. And we had a meeting with Natalie Peter from NOAA to tour this area in Byron for the Grand Bay NEAR. Dave came up to me and said, now, Clyde, said, we need about a 45-minute layover somewhere. I said, we'll just come to my place and we'll have coffee and pecan pie. And called Debbie, my daughter, and she came out, they made 2 pecan pies and had plenty of coffee. And we all met in my house in Pecan and had pecan pie. And that's how the pecan pie got the Grand Bay NEAR with Natalie.
To hear more, visit MississippiMoments.org or just like us on Facebook. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
That was Clyde Brown. Up next, we have a very special guest after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Southern Miss Radio is home to Don Rodney Radio's Rhythm and Blues Show.
WUSM, Southern Miss Radio, 88.5, Don Rodney Radio's Rhythm and Blues Show, another summertime song. I love this.
Don Rodney Radio spotlights the composers and performers of Mississippi Delta Blues, such as Charlie Patton, Mississippi John Hurt, Robert Johnson, and more. Here on Southern Miss Radio, Sundays from noon until 2.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Shylin. How are you doing today, Shylin?
I'm doing great, Skylar. How are you?
I'm doing pretty okay. So for anyone that is listening at home or in their cars, another live edition moment here at Southern Miss Today. And Shylin, who is our wonderful executive producer and has been helping out with shows, has been able to talk with me a little bit about some fun things. So we're going to be talking a little bit about some music and entertainment that's been coming up on the rise. So what have you been listening to lately?
Lately I've been listening to a lot of pop music. I can't name artists right off the top of my head,
Right.
but typically I listen to heavier rock or metal music.
Yeah.
So I'm really into Pierce the Veil, Falling in Reverse, Cage the Elephant, bands of that nature.
Yeah.
I find great entertainment in music, and I feel like it's very diverse, and there's a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that when we began meeting for Southern Miss Today, and we had a little conversation relating about the more hardcore, quote unquote. I'm sure some of the audience members out there would go that's not hardcore. What are you talking about? But we had a little moment of relation with the band Korn with the song Coming Undone. And for anyone listening at home, there's a little story that we recapped where whenever I used to live in L.A., I was originally born in L.A., my dad would used to go to this laundromat and he would give me this little iPod and he would play Coming Undone for me in the headphones, and I would be stomping outside and I would be making this entire ruckus where it's just a little kid that's just believing that this entire road and this entire world practically in front of him was his for the taking. And what did we relate to about that, if you remember?
What we related to about that is that my aunt's friend from her job gave her an iPod as well.
Yeah.
Well, a little MP3 player, a little SanDisk. It was little and it was pink. And she had a very vast music taste, so it was a bunch of different genres on there. But
Yeah.
the one that I definitely leaned towards was the heavier stuff.
Yeah.
Say for instance, Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
She had that on there, and then it just opened up a door.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember 3 Days Grace being a big one, and Breaking Benjamin a little bit. I remember I was so nervous about listening to I think it was Diary of Jane.
Yes.
That I looked over and I went
Yes.
that's why do I feel such these pent up things? Why do I feel so upset and so angry? Why do I feel like someone knows me? And that was insane.
I love when music makes it kind of transports you to a different place, or kind of actors and actresses
Right.
when they're in that zone that they get in before they're about to perform.
Absolutely.
Music definitely makes me feel that way. Especially
Absolutely.
when I'm in the car by myself in the shower singing.
Right.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But also pivoting a little bit from music and now moving into a little bit of entertainment. What have you been watching lately, either TV shows or movies or anything like that?
I've been really, really into Dance Moms for like
Yeah.
the past week. I just love really easy, bingeable shows that don't have super high stakes
Yeah.
that you can just watch comfortably and you can pay attention if you want to and check out whenever you want to as
Yeah.
well. Um, Other than that, I've just been watching different anime and gaming.
Yeah. I really like that. What game have you been binging lately?
I've been stuck and hyperfixated on Baldur's Gate 3 since the release
Yeah.
last week.
Oh my goodness. I've seen people play it and I've seen like the trailer on Steam and I've been looking over to my wallet. I'm going like, it's okay. It's okay. You can last like one more week. And then I would see someone like do something crazy and I would see like Asterion. And I look over and I go like, oh, but Asterion.
Literally.
Yeah. But I know one thing that has been trending on Netflix lately. I don't know if you've watched it, but if you have, then interesting. But what about like the One Piece like live action? Have you seen anything about that?
Okay, I've only watched a couple of clips from like TikTok
Yeah.
of the One Piece show, but I personally think that they did great casting
Okay.
and I think that it has a good story to it from what I've seen. So I definitely have to get a little bit more acquainted with it, but as far as like the anime goes, I refuse to watch One Piece.
Is your reasoning like the length of it or what?
It's definitely the length. I think the story is great. Like I've read a synopsis and I've watched a couple of episodes, probably like up to 10
Yeah.
before I was just like, dedicating my life to over 1,000 episodes just doesn't seem like the move for me right now.
I definitely relate to that. I know that there was a lot of shows when I was back in high school that like a lot of my friends were like, it was really popular among them. I think like the biggest one was like Supernatural. And like,
Oh my God, yes.
I tried to watch it, but like every single time there was a conversation about it and I looked over and I went like, I just can't. But a little like final topic for us to like go into a little bit about regarding entertainment. Is there anything that you've been looking at? It can be something that you've already said, and if so, just give a little bit of something about it that really fits this for you. But what has been like any like guilty pleasure for you lately?
A guilty pleasure. I would definitely say listening to K-pop.
I feel that. I feel that. I think I was listening to, I think it was, I don't remember their name at the top of my head. I'm so sad. But it was something that like an old friend of mine introduced me to, and I was listening to it out of nowhere, and I just found myself like dancing across the street. I know for me personally, there's been a series that I've been really trying to get into for like a long time, but there's so many episodes. But I've been trying to squeeze a little bit in. I've been trying to look into more of like Critical Role and looking into The Legend of Vox Machina, The Mighty Nine, and stuff like that. And I've seen some of the animated show of Vox Machina, or The Legend of Vox Machina, and it is so good.
No, I've seen it as well. It's
Yeah?
really good. Yeah.
Do you have
Like,
any
it's really
favorite
good.
character or favorite part?
I don't know their names. My favorite is the Bard.
Oh, Scanlan?
Yes.
Scanlan, Sam Riegel, for anyone that doesn't know. Sam Riegel is an absolute joy and a gift to this earth. I've been trying to follow his work for so long, and the way that he sings and the way that he makes all these songs.
Yes, it's absolutely like it's stunning. It's
It
really
really
stunning.
is. Well, thank you so much, Shylin, for coming in and for giving a voice to our Golden Eagles.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Up next, we've got Abigail Troth talking about Jimmy Buff's passing. Check it out right after a word from these sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277, and the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Legendary singer and USM alum Jimmy Buffett has died at the age of 76. Buffett passed away peacefully in his home on the night of September 1st, surrounded by his family and friends. Buffett was a graduate of the class of 1969, where he received a bachelor's degree in history. In the early 1970s, Buffett met Greg Fingers Taylor in front of the Hub and would strike up a long-lasting musical collaboration and friendship, forming the Coral Reefer Band. From then, history was made. With successful hits like Margaritaville, Cheeseburger in Paradise, and Son of a Sailor, Buffett became a music legend. With the success of his song Margaritaville, Buffett then became a successful restaurateur with a chain of restaurants spreading across America of the same name. Buffett was a longtime supporter and friend of the university. He was inducted into the Alumni Hall of Fame in 2018 and even created a scholarship endowment in honor of his mother in 2002. Since his death was announced, mourners have placed black and gold pom-poms, streamers, and flowers on the sign in his honor in front of the Hub. USM President Joe Paul even offered his condolences and kind words about the USM legend.
Well, certainly all of Golden Eagle Nation mourns the passing of Jimmy Buffett. It's a bit ironic, it's on a game day. We're going to remember him at the game. But what an icon, a global icon, but certainly a favorite son of Southern Miss.
To the top, Jimmy. Abigail Troth, WUSM.
Thanks for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Huge thanks to our audio engineer for this show, Dr. Wilbur Martin, and Alina, our video producer, for keeping this bird flying. Big shout out to our assistant producer, Huey, and our assistant manager, Shania, as well as our executive producer, Miss Whitney Howard, and our GM, Dr. Wilbur Martin. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. Stay golden, Eagles!
Sponsorship comes from Southern Beverage, your local Michelob Ultra distributor. Michelob Ultra has significantly fewer carbs and calories per serving if you are watching those in your diet. You can reach Southern Beverage by phone at 601-268-9111, or you can find them on the internet at southernbeverage.com. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri, and Southern Beverage ask you to please drink responsibly. Join Southern Miss Radio on Sunday mornings from 6 a.m. till noon for Sunday brunch. You'll get jazz and swing music from artists as wide-ranging as Bix Beiderbecke to Brad Meldau. From Dippermouth himself to Esperanza Spalding. But relax, you don't need to know anything about the music to enjoy it. It's a great way to wake up on Sunday morning. Sunday brunch from 6 a.m. until noon on Southern Miss Radio.